Well, we'll put it.
Most people lose clients before they ever earn their trust because they try to convince with facts instead of connecting with a story. Think about it. When you talk to a potential client, most people lead with numbers, charts, and credentials, trying to prove they're the best choice. But people don't trust spreadsheets. They trust people who feel like they understand them. And that kind of trust doesn't come from more information. It comes from a clear, compelling story.
Here's the problem. You have a story. You just don't know how to pull it out, structure it, and say it in a way that actually connects. So you sit there thinking, what do I say? What matters? How do I not overthink this? And it starts to feel like work. So you either overcomplicate it or you don't do it at all.
Now, if you're a financial professional, this matters even more because people aren't choosing you just because you're good with numbers. They're choosing you because they believe you understand them. And no chart can communicate that. Only a story can.
That's why tools like NotebookLM change the game. They take everything in your head, your notes, ideas, and experiences, and turn it into something clear, structured, and powerful. It's like having someone say, this is the part that matters. Lead with this. And suddenly your message flows, it connects, and it actually sounds like you.
Now imagine turning that into content or audio that builds trust for you automatically. Now your story isn't just something you tell, it's something that works for you.
This is what we're breaking down next in the sandbox. So stick around and let's dive in.
That's right. Welcome to the Sandbox Live. My name is Rob Souza, the producer with Wealth Vids.
I'm Brian Wayne with the Sandbox.
And today we're talking about an incredible new AI software put out by Google within the last few months, NotebookLM. This software is a game changer. Now, there is a learning curve. But my favorite part is it's free.
Yes. For the most part.
Get in while it's free. I'm sure Google will start charging for it.
Well, they're adding a ton of new features. So NotebookLM has been around probably about 6 months, but it's just now starting to catch on, and it's all over YouTube. It's the only thing anyone can talk about because it's and it's unique. And we'll talk about this. It's a AI, but unlike ChatGPT, where it just scours the internet, it's confined to just the sources that you give it. And that's what's so powerful and important, because what we talked about in the intro was pulling out the story from your facts and figures and create up some marketing material.
Yes. And I think the problem that, so that we can translate it for all the financial professionals that are watching, anybody in the financial industry. So anything from banking and mortgages to investing to legal services. The power of this software is that you, unlike all the other AI platforms, you can narrow its focus. And I think that's people's biggest challenge, is figuring out how to prompt the AI to give them the answer. Not all the AIs can create a pretty accurate answer, but
But is it the answer you want?
Yes. Is it the answer that you want, told the way you want it told, and it can be personalized for any client, any audience, at any time. And a notebook with the right sources can be reused over and over again.
Yeah, you can prompt it in different ways. You can create a completely different story, but all of the information will be accurate because it's only pulling from the sources that you uploaded.
So, quick backstory, because this just happened Friday, and my mind was blown. For those of you who are financial advisors or life insurance agents, you'll relate to this story. We had an advisor who needed help creating a presentation, a consolidated presentation for a complex, let's call it premium finance for those who are in the industry and understand how to use life insurance for a premium finance. We're using the bank's money to pay for a large life insurance contract. It's usually done high net worth individuals or key person employees. And they were meeting in a restaurant, which is hard altogether, 5 people. And this is a super famous couple. We won't mention names, but typically when you sit down and present a financial plan, your first meeting is usually collecting data and their personal challenges, what problems are they trying to solve? And then that first face-to-face meeting really is going over kind of an overview of here's some ideas and how you can solve that problem. And in the first, I think, 20 minutes of the meeting, I got a text message from the advisor who said, my client's too busy, wants to enjoy dinner. Can you consolidate what I'm going to present tonight in a short video? So I did I think it was like a 12-minute video summarizing what would normally would take an hour to 2 hours to present with presentations, paperwork, spreadsheets.
And he didn't even want to see the 12-minute version.
He didn't even want to see the 12-minute version. So then I get a text message late Friday night. Hey, he wants me to summarize everything in under 2 minutes, which 2 years ago was an impossibility.
That would have been impossible.
So quickly with NotebookLM, thanks to what you've taught me in the last 60 days, I went ahead and reran it, said consolidate it. It took about 5 minutes to render. I texted the 2-minute video to him. He showed it to his client during hors d'oeuvres before the dinner hit the table. And in reference, this was a client that knew they went to school together. So they already had the like, know, and trust.
They had some history, yeah.
So when he presented a summary video that was personalized to the client, so it had
his name and backstory in it,
and also the specific objectives. Here's what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I want to leave money to my family.
I want to leave money to my family, and I want to create a retirement income of $100,000 or more. And I want to do it at age, I think it was 55, right? So it was very specific. So the summary video presented it with images of him and his family and being able to retire at 60 and 55 or whatever it was. Doesn't matter. It's an example. Point being, by the end of the 2-minute video, he looks at the advisor, who's his friend, says, so are you confident that what is summarized in this 2-minute video are you confident that it is likely to happen?
Yeah.
We can't make promises.
Can you verify that it's accurate?
Yeah. Can I trust you that you're giving me a reasonable solution that I can trust? And he said, yes, I've been conservative in the numbers. We're showing you a very conservative outcome. And he said, well, if you're confident, send me the paperwork, send me the application tomorrow. I'll fill it out. Good to go. Not a single spreadsheet was ever shared.
No, and the funniest part of that story is, didn't you spend like 8 hours the day before preparing the illustrations and running the numbers? And they didn't even look
Monte
at
Carlo, historical data, research. Yes.
And that's the power of stories.
Yes. But
being able to present all the information consolidated, concise, with all the facts and figures, with a little bit of emotional sauce in there.
It didn't just blow my mind. I forwarded the message to my family members who've been in this business since the 1970s. They didn't believe me. They didn't believe me that what normally takes 3 sales meetings to get an application,
you did it in 2 minutes.
We're impressed. We're impressed when somebody can do it in 2 meetings. He did it in the first 20 minutes in 1 meeting.
And then they just had dinner. They didn't even talk about it.
And they just had dinner and enjoyed each other's company, developing relationship and friendship.
I would argue is as important or more important.
And,
Building deep relationships.
and we're talking about a deal that is a probably 40,000 plus commission. Like if you take the lifetime commission, it could earn that advisor a potential $40,000. Now they got an application, so it doesn't mean it's a done deal.
Right.
But if the application is approved and it's funded, that could be $30,000 to $40,000 in the pocket of that advisor, and he did it in one meeting in under 20 minutes with only a two-minute presentation.
It almost sounds too good to be true.
No, every family member didn't believe me.
Right.
I had to literally screenshot the text messages from the advisor to prove to them. They still didn't believe it until we got the application after the weekend was over.
Yeah.
And that's the power of leveraging technology, and today specifically NotebookLM. We're going to talk about how you can leverage this technology, but not have to take a deep dive with a big learning curve. And
we'll show some examples. Right.
And we created a tutorial video.
Yes.
And a guide.
So we'll play that for you.
So we have so in the next segment, we'll give you even a downloadable guide after we show you the instructional video. And the whole point of the sandbox is each week to help financial professionals learn, like our team, our army of content creators. Brian's obsessive 12 hours a day researching technology and marketing. My 25 years plus all of the decades of being in the financial industry. And
that's helpful. That's important too.
And packaging it and giving it to you 1 hour a week so that you don't have to do all that research. There's a lot, so much is coming out so fast. Everybody's like, I don't know which one to use. Which one do I trust? I mean, how many AI models are there out there?
There's so many. And there's a lot of noise too. And excuse me, if you've ever done any deep research on YouTube, there's a ton of tools out there and they look really simple to use. But what they're not telling you is what we're presenting here on the sandbox is the hours of research and the testing and the tweaking and trying different things to get the output that you want. It will give you the output that you want. And what we've learned in our testing is it really, the most important thing to use AI is the questions you ask, the prompts that you give it.
Right.
It knows
how to use
it
the
has
tool.
all the knowledge. You're the one that has to pull out the knowledge.
And if you can't, if you struggle, well, first of all,
It'll sound generic and it'll be like everyone else's.
correct. The difference is that not only are we doing the research for you, we're actually doing the testing for you, proving out that it's a valuable tool. And then
Like
that's
we just did we proved that
correct
within your story you just told.
Correct. So we're not telling you theoretical opinions. We're sharing with you stories that work in our industry that have been researched, deeply researched, tested, applied, and then
proven
that it is able to, if done correctly, can be used as a powerful tool without you having to spend 10 hours a week trying to figure out how to use the next AI technology that's going to come out next week and probably the week after that and the week after that. That's the advantage to staying connected with us in the sandbox is we're going to give you kind of a weekly update of here's all the research we've done, how we've applied it and the results, and give you the tools to be able to do it yourself or partner with our team and we will do it with you. With all that said, we're going to take a little bit of a twist in this week's sandbox. And instead of a competition, we're actually going to spend the time actually doing a tutorial, and then we're going to show you the results of what we got using NotebookLM rather than running our weekly competition. So after the break, we're going to give you a 5-minute NotebookLM generated video that's going to teach you everything you need to know to create a powerful, effective, personalized video using NotebookLM. So join us after the break.
Some financial professionals wake up to calendars full of appointments, while others are just failing. Most financial professionals are incredible at helping clients, but their marketing doesn't bring consistent appointments. The Sandbox teaches financial professionals how to build a modern marketing system online. You'll learn how to clarify your message, build a high-converting funnel, and create a video that introduces prospects to your philosophy. When it's done right, qualified appointments start showing up on your calendar. Join the Sandbox at wealthvids.com/sandbox.
Welcome back. And this is where it gets fun because we get to play around with it for 30 days and you perfect it. Thank you, because you've created all these really unique sources that we can add to NotebookLM to take what would be a generic, sounds like every other financial professional, and with your unique sources that you add to our our advisors' notebook in combination with their personal stories and everything else. So we're not telling you theoretical opinions. We're sharing with you stories at work in our industry that have been researched, deeply researched, tested, applied, and then proven that it is able to, if done correctly, can be used as a powerful tool without you having to spend 10 hours a week trying to figure out how to use the next AI technology that's going to come out next week and probably the week after that and the week after that. It turns it into such a personalized video instead of, it's all the same information. It's the same education, but it's personalized to the audience that and you can repersonalize it for every single meeting.
Oh yeah. You can just, like I said earlier, it's the way you prompt it. Depending on how you prompt it, you'll get a completely different story. But the beauty of NotebookLM is that it's only pulling from the sources that you uploaded it. So for financial professionals that love giving facts and figures and just spewing all this data, it'll still take that data, it wraps it into a really nice story that you can position that story in any direction you want to go.
And just one more application that I used it recently, actually it was this last week, just so you guys can kind of understand like all the possibilities that you could leverage and use this technology for. We had a annual review of a client who's been with us for 20 years. And we were making some changes in their portfolio. And one of the things that we wanted to do was dollar cost averaging. But the client was having a hard time understanding what that meant. And then we were talking about sequence of returns. Those are the two biggest hangups.
And that sounds super dull and boring.
And it's
hard to explain.
And it's industry lingo.
Yeah.
And so after the meeting was over, and it was just the husband and the wife couldn't make it, and he wanted to be able to explain it to her. Now, using...
Oh, I know this story you're telling.
Yeah, I shared it with you in the After Dark, the podcast.
And how often does this question come up in meetings? Every salesperson has had this come up. I got to talk to my wife.
Right. Absolutely. But
wait till I got to talk this over with my wife. So how do you solve that problem?
Right. And the studies have shown, just go to Broadridge and watch Broadridge's annual marketing reports. Only 10% of any information that you share in a sales meeting is actually retained. Yeah. And then
probably less. Their
ability to re-articulate that to a spouse or family member is even less than that.
It's diluted every time you retell the story.
Absolutely. So what I did was I got off well, first of all, we recorded the meeting with their permission using an AI. We did it over Zoom. You can do this in person, by the way, too, where you can turn on, there's technologies like Otter where you can turn on and ask their permission. Make sure you ask their permission.
The voice memo in your phone will do it.
And make sure you ask their permission on the recording. Start the recording. Ask them before the recording and then ask them to repeat their permission on the recording so that you're in compliant. That's right. And then go ahead, make sure it's in your privacy policy that talks about protecting individual client data. It won't be shared with anybody or used for any other purpose. All of that, that's important. But then we took that, summarized it, sent it to the client within 5 minutes of the meeting ending. So now he could share the entire meeting with his wife. She could go to any part of the video and listen to us answer those questions. But then we took it to the next step because we found that even with that recording, it's an hour and a half long. And when the wife has questions and she's just watching a recording, we can't answer her questions. We were only able to answer his questions. So then I used your idea, uploaded it to NotebookLM and said
the whole transcript, right?
The whole transcript, and say, can you please focus on just these 2 questions and create a short 5-minute explainer video to fully answer those 2 objections or questions or challenges. And then we sent that video 5 minutes after we sent an email 5 minutes after we sent the recording that says, just to save you time to not watch the whole hour and a half, presentation, here's a 5-minute summary that answers your family's specific questions prepared for the Smith family. And it's going to bullet point address these questions that came up during the meeting. And we sent that. So within a half hour, the client received full transcript, full video, 5-minute summary, personalized to their family, answered their specific questions. And of course, 10 minutes, we have an email back. Okay, my wife and I are on board. Go ahead and drop the paperwork. We're ready to go.
So is that another second story?
That's a second story
of how you closed a client on the first meeting, which normally takes 3-day-long meeting.
No, and a caveat, these were existing clients.
Yeah.
We were just pivoting to a different, they were transitioning from the accumulation phase of retirement to the distribution phase because they were prepping for retiring at the end of the year. So all of a sudden, their concerns become different. The way you structure portfolios is different when people are taking money versus investing money. So they had lots of new questions that they hadn't had the last decade. So the ability to do that, but they completely trusted us to pivot the strategy in just 2 emails within an hour of the action. So all of a sudden, their concerns become different. The way you structure portfolios is different when people are taking money versus investing money. So they had lots of new questions that they hadn't had the last decade. So the ability to do that, but they completely trusted us to pivot the strategy in just 2 emails within an hour of the actual meeting.
Because they understood it.
Because they understood. Usually the husband would talk to the wife, then we'd do a follow-up meeting, we'd answer the questions, then they'd think about it, then they'd give us an answer, and maybe 30 days later, you'd have an application or filling out, account applications, to open accounts, investment accounts, that sort of thing. So 2 applications of using it, and those 2 are only 2 of many that represent about $100,000 worth of potential fees and income for those financial advisors.
And I'm thinking too, how does this just totally level up your professionalism? It just levels up your game when your clients, those 2 stories, because I've heard both of those stories before, and how it's the wow factor. I don't even know how to describe it, but it just really looks like you got your shit together.
Yes, and
I don't know how else to say it.
No, it's I'll give you one more story, and then we're going to share with you an instructional video on exactly what you need to know for NotebookLM. If all you do is fast forward and watch this next 5-minute video, then you're going to walk away with 2 months worth of research, and I'm talking over 100 hours that was spent breaking down the tool for financial professionals and how you can use it in a super simple explainer video that was created in NotebookLM. And if that's all you take away from today, I hope that you will save this 6-minute video. And so let's jump in and
Let's just watch it.
Let's watch the explainer video.
Hey, welcome. We've put together this simple guide to help you give us the core ingredients for your new documentary. Our goal here is to make this whole process completely painless for you, so our team can do all the heavy lifting and build something truly powerful. So let's just dive right in. And you know what? Let's start with the single most important message right up front. You do not need to make this perfect. I really want that to sink in for a second. We are not looking for a polished script or some kind of finished product from you. All we need is clear, honest information. This is about your raw expertise, not your writing skills. Look, we get it. You might be thinking this is going to be some complicated process where you have to learn new software or write a perfect script. But the reality is so much simpler. All we really need are your honest insights. Think of it this way. You provide the ingredients, and our team will cook the 5-star meal.
So here's the game plan for this little explainer. We'll kick things off with why your story is so crucial. Then we'll cover the core ingredients we need from you. After that, it's a super simple 3-step submission process, and then we'll show you exactly what happens next. Sound good?
Okay, so let's start with the why. There's a really specific reason we ask for these particular pieces of information. It's because every single powerful documentary, every great story, really, follows a proven narrative framework. And your inputs, they're the essential building blocks for that story. Every great story starts with a hero. And in this story, that hero is your client. The entire documentary is built around their world, their problems, and where they want to go. And of course, every hero has a problem they need to solve, right? This is what creates the tension in the story, a challenge or a risk that your client is facing. And often, it's a problem they don't even fully understand yet, which is what makes it so compelling. And this is where you come in. See, you're not the hero of the story. You are the guide. You're the one with the experience, the expert who deeply understands the hero's problem and can show them the path forward. So as the guide, your big role is to introduce a clear plan, a solution that helps the hero overcome their problem and ultimately win the day. This is your unique process, your strategy. It's the clear path to success you've created for them. And here's how it all weaves together. Your origin story explains why you care about this specific audience. That audience shares a common problem, which we then validate with real-world proof. And finally, the whole journey is brought to life through real client stories. See? Everything connects to build one powerful narrative. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Gathering those core ingredients. We'll start with the foundation. The pieces that tell your personal story and clearly define the problem we're going to solve. For this foundational part, we just need 4 things. First up, your origin story. Why do you care so much about this? Second, your target market. Who, specifically, is this for? Third, the problem. What's the big risk they're facing? And fourth, your discovery. Tell us about that aha moment when you realized this was a critical issue. Okay, next up in our ingredient list, we're going to move from the problem over to the proof. This is where we build that rock-solid credibility and lay out the clear path to a better future for your client. This second half is just as important. We need some third-party validation. Think articles, data, studies that prove this problem is real. Then, let's bring it to life with 2 or 3 real client stories. After that, you'll outline your solution, the actual plan you provide. And finally, describe the outcome. What does that amazing transformation look like for your clients?
So, you've gathered all your ingredients. Now for the easy part, I promise, submitting them. This is a very, very simple 3-step technical guide that's only going to take you a few minutes.
Okay, but before we hit those 3 steps, pause for a sec. Please pay close attention to this. This file naming system is absolutely critical. Just numbering each source and adding a category like origin story or proof helps our team work incredibly fast and accurately. It's such a small step for you that makes a huge difference for us. And here they are, the 3 simple steps. First, you're going to create a free NotebookLM account if you don't already have one. Second, just upload all those source materials we just talked about. Docs, PDFs, links, whatever you've got. And third, you just share the notebook with us. That is literally it. Now, for this final step, these details are really, really important. You're going to add these 3 specific email addresses. And here's the biggest thing. Please set our access to editor, not viewer. This is what actually allows us to organize all the materials. Then just click Save, copy that share link, and send it our way. And you've clicked Send. your part is officially done. So let's talk about what happens next when you hand that baton over to our production team.
It's a simple question, and thankfully it has a simple answer. The moment we get your materials, our whole process kicks into high gear. From this point on, we take it from here. Our team gets in there and organizes all your sources, which is why those file names are so helpful. The AI inside NotebookLM helps us pull out all the key connections. From there, we build a powerful, structured script and move right into full production of your documentary.
So let's just end on this thought. The real strength of this documentary is going to come from that clear connection between your story and your client's problem, from the credible validation you provide, and from those relatable client journeys that bring it all home. Your simple inputs are what make this entire thing work. We seriously can't wait to see what you send over.
Yeah. There we go. Technical difficulties going live.
Our sandbox logo just rotated on.
It's sideways, but that's okay.
That's okay.
It's
Because
live.
all that you really care about is the takeaways from today and what you can do to leverage NotebookLM to significantly increase your income as a financial professional. And this translates to any business owner, any entrepreneur, for whatever product or service that you offer. So stick with us, because I'm telling you, this will substantially increase your income. For us, in the last 30 days, this has added probably $200,000 of additional income in a fraction of the time. Now, I know every industry, service, product has a different scale of commission and income, but percentage-wise, it's probably 4x'd our income in
Easily.
1/10 the time, just using NotebookLM's capability. Because of this personalization, it made people feel that working with us, they were going to get significantly more information, more personalized, quicker, with what feels like to the average consumer that we spent a ton of time and effort to go the extra mile, which with anybody looking for a service provider, they want to choose the one that they think cares most about their family
Mhm.
and is going to put in the most amount of effort possible to provide a solution that's personalized. And that's what increases the value. And this particular presentation, how many hours of research did you have to do and then consolidate it into a source file and provide it to me that I just put in NotebookLM, pushed a button, and 10 minutes later I had this explainer video?
It's 30 minutes.
Did we do any editing?
No,
Did we do any visuals?
no. Didn't even do any script writing.
Nothing. NotebookLM created that explainer video just from the raw source files. And really the raw source file was me calling you on a Zoom call and saying, can you please explain everything you've learned over the last 2 months? Recorded it, uploaded it, and rendered this explainer video.
Yeah. NotebookLM, it can read PDFs, audio files, YouTube links, and it will extract that information, and it'll, because it's only using the source material, it can't hallucinate and go off on its own and fill in the gaps. Like we were talking about the Jurassic Park reference, you know, it's when they're rebuilding that DNA
Yes.
and there's gaps and they put the frog DNA. Well, those are hallucinations that will just, they won't be accurate, and you'll need to edit and re-edit it and tweak it. If you give it the source material, even if it's just a single transcript from an hour-long phone call, you can say, what are the questions? What does the client have a problem with? Answer these questions and put it into an explainer. And it's surprisingly accurate. It's like scary accurate.
And the takeaway is that you can take any source. It doesn't even need to be a polished source. You can watch a YouTube video that you feel like, oh my gosh, this would be so helpful for my clients to see. And you can regenerate your own version of the video it by just adding it as a source, putting it in your voice, have your website, your brand, your origin story, and then hit generate and explainer video.
Or if a client says, well, that's nice, but I have a couple more questions, go, fine. What are your questions? Prompt NotebookLM with those questions, and it'll pull the information out of the data, put it into a story that they can understand, and you can email it back to them in about 10 minutes.
There are so many applications for this. It's crazy. I shared this idea with a fashion designer, and they own a clothing store. And one of their marketing strategy is they have people try on clothes and take pictures and post it on Instagram and Pinterest. And they started using this 4 weeks ago. I don't even think I've shared this story with you. And so 4 weeks ago, they just would load the images from each customer that came in and tried on, whether they bought or not, tried on outfits, took pictures, uploaded them to a pre-created notebook that has all their designs and everything about their company and why they solved the problem better. And then before the retail client could even get home to their house, they had a personal runway style video.
Oh, nice.
Auto-generated with them in each of those outfits, with the price, with the link to go ahead and order it and schedule an appointment to come in and have it sized properly for you.
That's amazing.
And it was interesting that the business owner said to me, they did this in less time than it typically took them to sell it the way they used to sell it. So it saved them time, it saved them money, and they increased their sales by 30-40%.
That's amazing.
It's unbelievable. If you provide a personalized service.
Yeah, when people say AI is going to change the world, this is exactly how it's going to change it.
And if you don't jump in and leverage it for your business, then you're going to have your competitors that will, and you will get left behind. It's that old saying, get on the train, or you're going to be standing on the...
I've never heard that saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, get on the train or you're going to get left behind.
Yeah.
It's like, you either got to join them and try and compete. If you don't like certain things about AI, well, the great thing about NotebookLM is that you can upload an entire document about, hey, these are my concerns that I have. Please avoid these concerns.
Yeah.
Because it will not just be a generic AI result. It's going to be a personalized results. We've always said the output in AI is only as good as the input. And NotebookLM is the absolute best AI tool I've used for controlling input.
Yes.
And consolidating it.
And consistent output.
And consistent output in your own personal brand's voice. I'm telling you, this is a game changer, and we really want you guys to take advantage of this. Brian put together a great document guide that's going to be downloadable. And so our producer will put them in the chat, a link to download you can explain the guide. You created it. So
it's like an intake form, and it's everything that you should put in your notebook, along with all of the data and the facts and figures, but put in some of your backstory, your origin. How did you become a financial advisor or financial professional? Right. What are the sources, or what are the case studies that you have? Do you have any testimonials?
And this is a perfect example. Brian, we've been doing this for so many years. Brian's actually trying to explain to you in a traditional fashion what the previous 5-minute video did in half the time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our habit, though.
It can say it better
and more succinctly.
And we use these to create these documentaries that we produce for the financial industry.
So are you helping me lead into the next segment? You set me up.
Exactly. Thank you. And the one that you'll see next it's done exactly the way that we've been describing. It's taking all that raw data, putting it into a story that makes sense, because you want your clients to understand what it is you're talking about.
And there's nothing worse.
And like you said about retention, people only retain 10% of what they hear anyway, and it's usually wrong.
Yeah.
So just do it right.
Well, and what we're going to transition to after this next break is we're going to show you how we took the next step to create a more documentary style, more realistic, relatable, less of an explainer and more of kind of documentary style.
Yeah, cinematic.
And cinematic, thank you. Which does a better job in storytelling because it's easier to put yourself into the storyline. But how many times have you hired a content creator and create content, and then it's not quite on point, but you've already spent $5,000 creating that piece of content, or $1,000. Doesn't matter what you spent. Then you want edit, and then you want edit, and then you want edit, and it's like 6 weeks later, and you finally have that piece of content. NotebookLM will produce this explainer video for 10 minutes worth of work if you have the right sources in there, and then if the notebook explainer video isn't quite accurate, all it takes is for you to type in your opinion and re-render. Once you've rendered it down to an explainer video that is 100%, you are confident and you feel like this is the best version. Then you give it to us and we only will charge you once, or you, because you have to pay for AI credits, right? To generate. So to generate a documentary video with AI credits and then go back and make edits and then go back and make edits, it's going to cost you more time, more money.
Yeah.
And the point is, NotebookLM will do it for free. And if you give us an explainer video that you're 100% confident and satisfied with, then creating an AI video, you'll get it exactly the way you want it the very first time. So, and if you have a compliance department, you can send the explainer video to the compliance department, get it approved before you even start the creation process.
Yes, that's huge.
And it is huge. It saves a significant amount of money. So stick with us. After the break, we're going to show you how we took a NotebookLM explainer video and turned it into a short, and we're showing you a short version. Most of our documentary is 20, 30 minutes long, but we're going to show you a short 5-minute version, how we took NotebookLM explainer to a documentary next step. Join us after the break.
In the sandbox, financial professionals learn how to craft a powerful message and build a funnel that attracts qualified prospects and books real appointments. But when a funnel is truly dialed in, when the message is clear, and the system proves it converts, it enters the final cut, where top-performing funnels can be hosted on the WealthVids platform and licensed to financial professionals in other regions across the country. Only a few make it this far. So the question is, who has a message strong enough to make it to the final cut?
Oh, well. Hey.
Once again.
Still sideways. That's okay.
The information is more important anyways.
So the video that we're going to watch, I want to just clarify that there is a feature inside of NotebookLM. It's under Video Overview, and it's called a cinematic video. It's only available on the highest paid tier. There is a free, you can create 1 or 2 videos on the free account as a demo, but it is going to be rolling out into what everyone is suspecting is that Google's going to roll it out to everybody.
Yeah.
But it's only available on the highest tier, but you can make at least 1 video. I know with the free account, that's what I've done because I only have the $20 account.
Yeah.
So, but it's amazing. It blew my mind.
But the explainer videos are
unlimited,
included in a free account, pay nothing. So Brian's talking about there's different tiers. You can step up into a cinematic version, auto generates, or the video we're about to show you is actually where we took it to paid Google AI video suite.
No, it was done in NotebookLM.
No way.
It was the whole thing. I didn't touch it. I clicked it.
Are you kidding me?
No, that was done in a cinematic video overview inside of NotebookLM.
Now we looked at 2 samples. We're talking about the second sample we looked at, that was done
That was
in.
done in NotebookLM.
No way.
I didn't generate any of that.
Oh my gosh. I'm even more blown away.
So let's watch
If
it.
you're not blown away, I'm blown away. But let's watch how we turn this into an AI.
It's a cinematic video
cinematic
overview
video, yeah.
built inside NotebookLM.
Millions of people base their entire retirement on a traditional stock portfolio, but underneath that standard financial foundation, invisible pressure is building. The mechanics of traditional accounts expose you to a mathematical trap that quietly drains your wealth. When a standard portfolio drops 20%, mathematical reality requires a 25% climb just to reach your starting line. Adding a timeline reveals the true cost. You spend years simply digging out of financial holes instead of generating new wealth. Relying exclusively on a market-dependent portfolio forces you into a game where the rules are heavily weighted against you. You take all the risk, and the math guarantees your recovery is harder than your fall. Standard alternatives like indexed universal life or IUL policies often fail to solve the problem. An IUL is a permanent life insurance policy that ties its cash value growth to a stock market index. But traditional IULs are typically built to be completely rigid, heavily over-leveraged, and extremely expensive to maintain. People with significant wealth do not buy off-the-shelf financial products. They refuse to passively ride the market roller coaster or lock money in restrictive accounts. Instead of accepting standard accounts, they actively build private capital systems. They design custom vehicles that protect their principal while maximizing growth. True wealth preservation requires stepping outside the boundaries of conventional financial planning. It demands a systems engineering mindset where every dollar is deliberately placed and protected. This is where a completely different architecture comes in, the LIFT method. LIFT stands for Leverage, Indexed Growth, Flexible, and Tax Advantage Strategy. The core rule of this architecture is incredibly simple. Your money should never just sit in one place, locked away in a single-purpose account waiting for retirement. Your capital needs to do double duty. The structure must allow your funds to generate continuous internal growth while simultaneously being available for immediate use in the outside world. Leaving your money static is a waste of its potential. An engineered wealth system extracts continuous, multi-layered utility from every single dollar you earn. Now, a common critique of traditional IULs is that high internal costs constantly drag down their overall performance. If they are built the standard way, that critique is entirely accurate. For the first 7 years, we keep the death benefit high to maximize funding capacity without tax penalties. At year 7, we drastically lower the death benefit. Slashing that internal expense allows your cash value to grow exponentially faster. With that single structural maneuver, it stops operating like a sluggish, expensive insurance policy. It becomes a highly efficient capital vault. Once that vault is optimized, you can deploy your capital in the real world. You do this by using your policy's cash balance as collateral. Instead of withdrawing your money, you borrow against the policy at a 5% fixed rate. Your full cash balance continues earning returns inside the vault. You deploy that borrowed money into an outside asset, capturing a positive spread while internal compounding never stops. You are quite literally leveraging other people's money to add a new layer of earnings. Capturing positive spreads while preserving your principal is the exact difference between average investing and wealthy architecture. But what happens when the external economy turns against you? If the market crashes next year, how does a highly active system like this survive? We engineered the LIFT method with a built-in failsafe known as the 0% floor. This side-by-side comparison shows the math in action. If the external market drops by 20%, your credited return is simply zero. Your account flatlines, and you never lose your capital. Mathematically eliminating negative compounding is much more powerful than constantly chasing high returns. Your wealth continues to grow because it is anchored by absolute capital preservation. We don't just guess that the structure will hold. We validate these systems using custom Monte Carlo simulations. A Monte Carlo simulation is a mathematical technique that calculates the probability of different outcomes in highly unpredictable systems. We test your wealth architecture against 30 years of real historical market data. It is proven to survive through the most severe crashes and corrections of the modern era. When you combine the 0% floor, tax-free retirement income, and the ability to capture positive loan spreads, you create a highly resilient financial engine. The decision you face right now is a choice between two paths. You can leave your retirement exposed to a flawed system, hoping to survive the next market correction. Or you can step into a new vehicle that protects your capital and gives you the flexibility to invest on your terms. Stop settling for a system that drains your resources. Take control of your financial future.
All right, well, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Now, I'm flabbergasted because even I was
Watching it a second time, I'm blown away. The animation on the charts and graphs, and they're totally accurate.
I was absolutely convinced that you took a NotebookLM explainer video and took it to Google Flow and Google Whisk and
Nope.
Nana Banana and generated that documentary video. I'm absolutely blown away.
And that was just my very first experiment.
That was your first try.
That's the very first one.
What was the source you used to create that accurate of information?
The same sources that I used for just the regular brief, but under video interview, you can select cinematic overview, and it will.
But you had to have added more specific details about the investment. You had to have taken a phone call.
I may have prompted it. No. I uploaded 2 Zoom recordings.
Okay, well that's what I'm talking about.
So there's 2 hour-long. So there's 2 hours of audio
now
that it's reading from.
Just so that the viewers understand, the 2 hours of audio that he's talking about are transcripts
from Zoom
of actual talking to clients about a specific financial strategy that when the phone call was over was just simply uploaded, you're saying, and then you created a cinematic version in NotebookLM
with additional PDFs and documents.
Okay.
So
now
it had all of the data and all of the stories, and there's also a PDF that I generated that's based on your dad's backstory and how he got into the industry and back in the 80s. So it had a little bit of frame of reference, but it literally just with a couple sentences and a prompt.
So really quickly, I just want to answer Garth's question because we're getting to the top of the hour, which we have to wrap up. Now, I can't read it specifically, but it was read to me by our producer, basically about compliance. And so one thing I want to mention about compliance, first of all, if you're doing a marketing piece that is published on the internet, make sure that you submit it to your compliance department before you publish anything. Now, if you're talking about a summary of an actual one-to-one meeting where you're just sending this presentation as a response to an individual client, and only that individual client is seeing that video as a response to a meeting you just had, 95% of the compliance departments I've worked across the nation don't require you to run a response to an individual client that's a private one-to-one conversation to get approval on. It's
basically an email.
Well, it's like being in a live sales meeting, sitting in a restaurant, and somebody says, "I have these questions," and then you answer those questions. You don't have to run that by compliance when answering a question to an advisor. So the differentiator is, if you're publishing it on the internet to the open public, you must get compliance approval. If it's an individual conversation, one-to-one, generating these individualized and personalized videos in most compliance departments should not, in fact, it's not, there's no law for FINRA or SEC to have to approve those, especially if your source documents are consistently the same every single time. You may take your source documents of how we explain how a annuity works and get that approved, but then to create a video that's personalized for that particular client with questions,
it's already pulling from
approved sources. So I can't read the other comment that's coming up because
that was Garth's question.
Okay. All right. So that being said, we are coming to the top of the hour. And so, Brian, let's talk about takeaways. And quick takeaways, and then we're going to take a quick break and then throw out a new challenge for next week's sandbox.
Okay.
And each week we throw out a challenge, and people submit their version of the challenge. We create 3 finalists, and then we create a winner, and the winner gets the opportunity to actually produce something that can be or is approved to be published on the WealthVids YouTube and website platform.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we'll turn that into a documentary.
Final thoughts, though, before we go into next week's challenge.
Something you said earlier, just about kind of pushing back on people concerned with AI. I hear this all the time, just in conversations, and people are concerned and worried. This train is coming. It's coming. It's a steamroller. It's coming, and the people that, like you said earlier, the people that it's adapt or die. You need to adapt to using the tools and using them properly with your compliance department, obviously. But man, are they just so they're really making everything that we do more efficient, and the quality is 10 times better, 100 times better.
I'm still, all day long, I'm going to be blown away, because I still thought this was normally, how long would it take to create that sort of video using an editor who goes out and uses Google Whisk and all the AI video creation platforms, plus editing, CapCut, and everything else?
Hour minimum. Probably 2 hours with all the other things that you have to do.
If it's edited properly, how long did it take you to render this video? For free in NotebookLM. Well, this is the paid.
5 minutes.
Well, you get 1 free per day. Is that what you said? On the free account?
So, yeah.
And then the paid account gives you the ability to do more of these. But if that's the case, look how valuable this is. Like having a personal marketing department using NotebookLM. Literally, it's doing the work of like a full-time employee.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. If you have specific questions and you want to figure out how to use this tool as a strategy for your particular company, feel free to, and we'll put it in the chat, schedule 15 minutes with me over the phone, schedule 15minutes.com, and I'd be happy to help you come up with a strategy on how you can leverage this tool for your specific company. In the meantime, we have one final commercial break, and then we're going to come back and throw out next week's challenge. We'll be right back.
Most financial professionals know they should be marketing online, but very few know what actually works. That's why we built the Sandbox, a marketing system designed specifically for financial professionals. At the center is a cinematic documentary and persuasive sales video designed to educate prospects, build trust, and drive booked appointments. Inside the Sandbox, you'll also receive weekly mentoring and coaching to help you build your funnel step by step. And when it's complete, it can enter the final cut, where top funnels compete for nationwide licensing opportunities. Step into the Sandbox today.
All right, we're back, and next week's challenge is the document that's in the chat. The PDF outlines everything that we would want a client to upload to a NotebookLM. That includes all of your data sheets and everything that's been through compliance, your backstory, your
testimonials,
all your testimonials. It's in the doc. And then go back and watch this again, that explainer video that we played earlier about how to create your documentary sources. That sort of outlines everything. And there's hundreds of YouTube videos about how to use NotebookLM. There's no excuse not to be using it, in my opinion. But I really discounted it. I thought it was just kind of a cute little study tool for college kids. It is wildly powerful.
Yep. So what we want you to do, if you just follow the explainer video and the intake or guide form that you can download from the link in the chat, all we want you to do is create a short explainer video and submit it to us at rob@amhsupport.com again, or join the Sandbox, even better, because when you submit it in the Sandbox, you can go to wealthvids.com/sandbox. I think we're in our last 60 days of that membership being free. And
Yeah.
so I would get in, I'd become a member now because the free tools, resources are something that's worth, I would say to me, it's been worth like tens of thousands of dollars in the resources that you've been able to provide me for my company that I've used. It depends on the company and your average cost of sale. But point being is either email me your explainer video or join the sandbox and you'll get feedback from our whole entire team. And we'll select 3 finalists and a champion who will get an invitation to be published on the WealthVids platform. So thank you for joining us today. I hope we provided so much value that you'll come back each week for new ideas, new softwares, new tools to reduce the costs of your company and significantly, reduce costs, more importantly, reduce time. Because time with your family is more important than anything else. And as financial professionals, that should be all of our goal. But then at the same time, significantly increase your ROI, return on investment, and significantly scale your business with less time and less money.
Yes.
So feel free to go to wealthvids.com/sandbox or feel free to schedule a call with me. Schedule 15minutes.com. I'd be happy to help you apply this and submit your videos for next week as we choose the finalists. Thank you for joining us this week. And
See you next week in the sandbox.
absolutely. Thanks for joining us.